The 2018 NASCAR season is in high gear, and no doubt April 2018 provided us with some interesting things to talk about. No matter if it's absolutely cold weather, rain for the 10,000th time at Bristol, or your typical sunny day at Talladega, we saw a bunch of dramatic moments and a bunch of irritating moments from this month, and oh boy, this is going to be a good one. Race number 7 of the 2018 season brings us to the Texas Motor Speedway for the O'Reilly Auto Parts 500. Everything's bigger in Texas, and we can only hope NASCAR can make it big today. Wow, chaos already for Average Bowman. He clips the apron and wipes out Austin Dillon, Paul Menard, and Daniel Suarez. My gosh, why does Daniel Suarez have to have the worst luck this season? He is the only likable JGR driver, and he is, of course, the worst on the team and the unluckiest car on the team. He gets crashed by checkers or wreckers at Daytona. Terrible pit calls that robbed him of a top 10 in Atlanta. Pit gun issues at Las Vegas. A speeding penalty at Auto Club. And now this, possibly the fastest car this weekend, gets wiped out on lap 3. Of course, the Mexican boy has no luck whatsoever. So stage 1 continues, and what do you know? Kevin Harvick completely dominates the stage. Once again, he proves to be unstoppable in his Busch Light Ford, and he is the car to beat. What a shocker. Looks like it's going to be another 4, 78, and 18 battle this weekend.
Logano, you see there, 5th. But,
that's 78 of Mark Truex Jr. in the wall.
Wow, MTJ is gone. Are you kidding me? We don't have to suffer through an MTJ dominating performance at 1.5 miles. Man, that's awesome. Nothing against Truex, but he will probably win 8 races this summer, so that means we might get a new winner for once here in the spring.
After the first lap,
Stage 2 begins with little to no drama whatsoever. It's going to take another miracle to make this race worth watching.
He returned to Hendrick Motorsports in 2002, became crew chief for a brand new team.
Oh boy, now Kyle Larson is gone due to a blown tire. Of course, the only fast Chevy driver gets taken out. Absolutely wonderful. He is easily having a Kyle Busch 2017 season. He's shown speed unlike any of the other Chevy drivers, and once he gets past all the bad luck, he should be a force for the championship. We better hope time is on his side.
Kurt on the outside of Kyle.
We see Kurt Busch take the lead in stage 2, and the race gains tons of hope. Kurt Busch has been quiet this season, so maybe this race is his time to shine. However, his brother Kyle Busch catches him and casts more doubt into this race. Everything's great. Here comes the 4 and 18 show. Well, at least Martin Truex Jr. is out of it. Stage 3 begins with checkers or wreckers himself, of all people, winning this race. Believe it or not, this is a rare time I want to see this kid win. After all, the only other choice is Kyle Busch. Come on, checkers or wreckers. I know you always have to crash in the wall, but please do something. Do not crash.
On the outside of the 18 and the 41 right there.
Trouble! One car around and one in the wall.
Once again, Denny derails 2 pit road penalties that put him well out of the top 10. And it all ends with Hamlin getting loose and knocking out many top contenders. Once again, another example of Denny Hamlin and the FedEx team failing to deliver in key moments. Cannot wait to see the 2018 NASCAR playoff elimination.
Lose maybe under the 10. Couldn't.
Yeah, I don't think he was expecting that.
Involved in Almirola and Jimmy Johnson.
The moment you realize you are no longer the king of Texas. Man, let's stop by Lowe's today and see how awesome the 48 team is doing. We thought he was going to do absolutely awesome today. And then Lowe's and the 48 team fails to deliver. How about having a loose wheel while running into the top 10? And how about going 3 laps down before getting taken out? Can only be found at Lowe's and Hendrick Motorsports and Jimmy Johnson. And no wonder now Lowe's is pulling a Brian Cornell. Lowe's, your one-stop shop for absolutely sandbagging the final year of sponsoring Jimmy Johnson.
All projects have a starting point. Start with Lowe's.
So after that, the race slowly plays into Kyle Busch's advantage. He pulls ahead of Eric Jones, and he absolutely pulls away from the poor kid, meaning that Eric Jones pulled his first big Chase Elliott clutch moment of his NASCAR career. Well, today you can call him chokers or wreckers for today. But Bristol is next week, so maybe he can finally prove himself. But today was not the day. I wonder how Matt Kenseth would have handled that restart against Kyle Busch. Probably would have been a lot closer, but whatever. Wow, what a shocking turn of events. Another heavyweight battle between the 4 and the 18. What a predictable outcome. Oh boy, and then look at this. Kevin Harvick isn't even closing on Kyle Busch. This is just riding out to doom. And now let's go trackside for the Samantha Busch excitement report. Let's monitor her every move like a hawk as she watches her husband, Kyle Busch, try to finally win a race. So you can see that she has that look in her eye of fear. But yet again, Kyle Busch is an almighty God. There is no way he will blow this one. That is your Samantha Busch excitement report, brought to you by eBay Fashion. Oh yeah, there's also a race occurring.
Today, Kyle Busch wins in Texas for Joe.
Yippee! Kyle Busch finally wins a race. Wow, what a shocker. Once again, everything's great with parity in NASCAR, as literally the entire competition handed Kyle Busch this win. Great job. So the Texas race was actually entertaining to watch. Once again, ruined by a predictable winner. Now, of course, this was Kyle Busch's first win. But believe me, Kyle Busch on a hot streak is absolutely dangerous. He will probably win at least 2 more races this month.
Block his air a little bit. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing in the last great Coliseum, boys.
Next up on the tour, we head to the last great Coliseum for the Rain City 500. Wait, it's the Food City 500. But anyways, expect tons of precipitation for the 10,000th time during a Bristol weekend. And Mother Nature keeps driving attendance to record lows. So let the fun begin here in Bristol.
Oh, trouble.
Oh, good grief.
Chase Elliott.
Oh, no.
Michael McDowell.
Come on, Michael McDowell, really? After such a positive NASCAR view video, you back it up by making a terrible rookie mistake? Absolutely lovely, and you took out Chase Elliott and Martin Truex Jr. as well.
Just seems to be a little bit of extra.
So far, the overall racing is absolutely fantastic. Seems like the old Bristol is here to stay. Teams can run the high line or the lone line as they please. And it gave us some great battles in the early going. Sad, only about 400 people got to watch this in person.
Blaney was working the bottom lane on some lap.
Oh, trouble, turn 3. Yikes. Oh,
Are you kidding me? Trevor Bayne, really? Really? Nice job wiping out Ryan Blaney in this race with that rookie move on Chris Buescher. Can't believe Roush Fenway continues to waste money on Trevor Bayne, yet prospects like Ryan Reed, Ty Majeski, Chase Briscoe, and oh yeah, Chris Buescher himself are regulated to underfunded teams or are stuck in the Xfinity Series. Congrats, you no-talented, one-hit wonder winning Daytona 500 winner. You likely just handed this win to Kyle Busch. As always, absolutely wonderful.
Clear. Clear by one back to the lane.
Anyways, we see some awesome strategy and racing develop towards the end of stage 1, which sees Brad Keselowski avenge his teammate and win the stage. So far, the 2 team has kind of flown under the radar this season, and a win would certainly propel him to championship contender, along with obviously the 478 and 18. Let's see where stage 2 gets us. So this stage broke some history in NASCAR as it nearly took an entire day to complete due to rain. Kyle Larson took the lead in the McDonald's Camaro and gave Team Chevy some light at Bristol. Some light that was immediately blocked by the clouds, and Brad Keselowski took home stage 2. You thought this was the turnaround for Chevy, right? Nope. Fool's gold once again. So throughout the final stage, we see some key moments happen on the battlefield that shall not be forgotten. Bubba Wallace comes out of nowhere and takes the lead from Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski. Are you kidding me? Richard Petty's handshake away from death. That car drives up to the lead. Wow, it really shows that sometimes a driver can really outperform his equipment. Nice job, Bubba. Ultimately, the negative comes at us quickly. Kyle Larson decides to cut down in front of washed-up Ryan Newman. Really, Kyle Larson? How do you make such a stupid mistake? Well, whatever. All is forgotten because he is suddenly in the lead. The final restart of the race leads up to Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Kyle Larson, and Jimmy Johnson. Finally, this looks like just the almighty race. Great racing and a great winner. Wait, Kyle Busch is up to second. Oh no, not again.
Oh, there's going to be contact. Yeah, sends a 42 up the track. Gets loose. Takes the lead.
Got big time loose.
Kyle Larson chokes up another race to Kyle Busch at Bristol. He officially became the Chase Elliott of the last great Coliseum, and he loses to the almighty God known as Kyle Busch in the late stages. Gee, we'll never hear the end of this from Kyle Busch fans. 0 for 7 against him. Wow, shocker. Kyle Busch wins his second in a row. Now he has a chance to one-up Kevin Harvick at Richmond next weekend. Thanks a lot, Trevor Bayne, and your no-talent driving. You handed Kyle Busch the win. You washed up no-talent luck-out Daytona 500 winner. You deserve to be fired. The greatest Bristol race in a generation, ruined by the same predictable 478 and 18 show. Thanks again. But anyways, yeah, like I said, the bump and run was back. Would have been absolutely awesome with another driver, but whatever. Good racing is back at Bristol. I mean, the racing was decent in the past, but this race was absolutely awesome. But you watch as the night race, and next year's will still have horrible attendance.
Let's go racing on this short track, boys.
Finally, the first night race of the season happened 2 months later than usual, but whatever. We head to the Richmond Raceway for the Toyota Owners 400. Richmond has innovated themselves to become a circus in terms of its renovations. Climax Corner. Are you kidding me? Anyways, expect another clown show to add to the rich culture of this track. We see some fairly good battles throughout stage 1. Talk about the side-by-side action between Chase Elliott, Martin Truex Jr., and Kyle Busch. Richmond seems pretty racy so far. So anyways, Joey Logano ends up winning stage 1, and how about Eric Almirola? He manages to finish second and was closing in on the 22 for the stage win. Surely we never saw the 10 team do this good back in the day. She would be lucky just to get into the top 20. By far, Eric Almirola is overachieving this season, and I love seeing it. Hopefully we can see him do something Danica never did. Get a top 5. Stage 2 sees most of the same. Mostly solid racing. We have a couple solid contenders to possibly win this race. Eric Almirola, Clint Boyer, Brad Keselowski maybe, and obviously stage winner Joey Logano. We might finally get a race where it isn't the 478 and 18 murdering the field. Stage 3 starts, and just forget everything I said. At the exact same time, Harvick, Kyle Busch, and Truex Jr. slowly enter the top 5 and take command of this race. Wonderful! Another race about to be ruined by predictability. Gonna take a miracle to stop this one. So then, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Ryan Blaney get together. Finally, some action and late race drama on this one. Maybe we'll get a new winner. The next restart, Kyle Busch absolutely pulls away. Meanwhile, Kurt Busch and Jamie McMurray get together, and washed up Ryan Newman running a Childress Vineyards car gets taken out of the race. McMurray proceeds to get mad at Kyle Larson because he bumped him out of the way for the free pass. Once again, McMurray, come on. I'm sorry your career has been nothing but a waste, but Kyle Larson still has one in front of him. Just be lucky Chip Ganassi hasn't thrown you out after your early McPlayoff exits every single year.
Exactly right.
I mean, 15 years in NASCAR, and I believe he still hasn't finished top 10 in points. That obviously leads to another restart where Kyle Busch pulls away. Meanwhile, David Reagan crashes and causes another overtime finish. Gee, the sports gods, they might finally give us some appreciation. Here we go.
Repeat from 32nd. Kyle Busch wins Richmond.
Yippee! Kyle Busch wins 3 in a row. Wow, what a shocker. Of course he one-ups Kevin Harvick. Once again, everything's great. Everything's absolutely great with parity in NASCAR, as literally the entire competition handed Kyle Busch the win. Great job. So overall, the Richmond race was decent. But once again, we get the predictable 4, 78, and 18 show. How many times do I have to say this in 2018? The parity sucks, and I'm the only one realizing it.
Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing at this big old Talladega racetrack, boys.
Anyways, time to head to Sweet Home, Alabama for the final race here in the month of April. In a shocking turn of events, Kevin Harvick leads the field to green in the Geico 500. However, this is Talladega. Expect chaos and calamity on every corner. Let's do this. Absolutely useless strategy killed stage 1. Most of it was because the Chevrolet team decided to stay out for over 30 laps and make a pit stop. The decision went nowhere for the team as they ended up 12 seconds. They ended up 12 seconds off the lead pack when Brad Keselowski won the stage. Absolutely terrible strategy, and it got them nowhere. So thanks for wasting 55 laps of this one.
Kyle Busch are the front 4.
Stage 2 offers much better racing within the first 12 laps. Ultimately, Dega decided to strike. Checkers or Wreckers does it again. Way to go, Eric Jones. Nice job clipping the apron and causing yet another big crash. At least he didn't try to overcorrect this one. However, so maybe there really is progress for the young Jones boy. So this ends an abysmal month of April for MTJ. Blown tire at Texas, a lap 3 crash at Bristol, watching his team completely collapse at Richmond, and now a crash at Talladega. He is currently 9th in points after 10 races, and nowhere near his regular season championship. Honestly, this reminds me of Jimmy Johnson's 2010 season. MTJ this year has tons of bad luck mixed in with a championship hangover. Like the 48 team, however, they have the speed, so expect a 78 domination with MTJ to take over during the summer. Stage 2 ends with Paul Menard of all people winning the stage. So far in 2018, Paul Menard has been, well, Paul Menard. The only difference is he has turned those top 25 runs into 17th to 20th place runs, and we've seen some more speed out of his car. He could quite possibly be a dark horse pick to make the playoffs, so I'd keep an eye on him this summer. Throughout Stage 3, we see some unexpected contenders emerge in this underachieving Talladega race. William Byron calls a strategy move and takes the lead. Hopefully this leads to a decent day for the rookie. We also see Casey Kane, of all people, running 3rd in the pack. Imagine if somehow the 95 team won a race before any driver from Hendrick Motorsports goes to victory lane. Casey Kane could truly be an upset and add some more embarrassment to Chevrolet. How about Chris Buescher and David Reagan running up front lane? How impressive that Talladega brings out the best in underdogs.
Kind of sandwiched in between 3 fast Chevrolets too, 88, 9, 48.
Oh, they're spinning.
Oh, Menard up and into Boyer, into the wall. Gets collected by McDowell. Keselowski crashes.
Nice things must come to an end, however, as William Byron gets Jimmy Johnson arrow loose and takes out Paul Menard, Clint Boyer, Brad Keselowski, Ryan Blaney, among many other drivers. Come on, Willie B. What was that? Trying to channel your inner checkers or wreckers. Everyone likes to blame Jimmy Johnson and the 48 team in this event, yet it was the 24 that moved up and got the 48 arrow loose and ultimately caused the big one. Once again, I am proving I'm not biased, bashing the 24 team to insanity. Of all this, Greg Gaulding and Bankrupt Racing avoided this wreck. Surprisingly, this team has crashed a lot less than 2018, and I've got to give them some small credit. Maybe going bankrupt and conserving one car was the best thing to happen to this team. Who knows? Maybe they'll actually make progress if they get a new owner. Race ends, however, with some good old single-file train racing. Absolutely nobody in the top 5 wanted to make a move, and Joey Logano cruises to the win. I mean, at least it isn't the 4, 78, and 18 all over again, but come on. We can't get a good finish with that either. So in all honesty, the Talladega race was just average. Average racing, fair amount of wrecks, slightly too many commercials, and an overall decent winner. Daytona is still a way better play track. 3 months into the 2018 season, let's take a look at the contenders that emerged over the month. For Toyota, you have Kyle Busch, obviously, proving he was an almighty god by winning 3 straight races. He should definitely go all the way to Homestead, which is scary for the rest of the field. And Martin Truex Jr. and Denny Hamlin had slumps this month, but expect things to probably heat up in May, as Martin Truex Jr. and MTJ will get back into it. Hamlin will probably win 1 race and then derail the rest of the year. And then obviously Eric Jones might surprise us checkers or wreckers. You never know. Ford, meanwhile, is by far the dominant manufacturer in the early going. The dominating performance by the Ford drivers at Talladega, led by Joey Logano, capped off an amazing month for the team.
It's been quite the...
All of Stewart-Haas Racing and Team Penske, they look dialed in, and they are 1 win away from tying my preseason win total for all the 4 teams. We better hope they don't wear out during the summer. Otherwise, the 18 and 78 will be absolutely unstoppable. Come on, Almirola, Kurt Busch, Ryan Blaney, even Brad Keselowski. Let's get some more Ford winners. Chevrolet. Well, they had a few positives this month. Bubba Wallace got sponsorship from Worldwide Technology, a St. Louis-based company that made a handshake deal for 6 races. In addition, we got Symbicort and eBay Motors that helped fund more races for lackluster Richard Children's Racing, and it was found online that it looks like Hertz will be sponsoring William Byron and covering some of the races for that lackluster team and organization this season. As for on-track performance, the only driver and team that even looks remotely competitive is Kyle Larson. Mired in that, however, is tons of bad luck and struggles to get that first win. Hendrick Motorsports is nowhere close to a win. Absolutely nowhere. As some of the top 5s, they got, Jimmy Johnson, Alex Bowman. They were just good runs, and they were mixed in with some good luck, like Ryan Blaney, Brad Keselowski running into issues that ultimately got them a top 5. So really, there's not much. I mean, they're not running like 15th every week, but still, Kyle Larson might win Michigan, but for Hendrick Motorsports, don't expect them to win until August or September. They look nowhere near winning a race. So to wrap the month up as a whole, NASCAR better hope Chevrolet somehow steps it up in May, or otherwise the 4 and 18 are going to run away with this season and end up with over 30 playoff points and punch their tickets into Homestead by September. More than ever, I've seen that NASCAR over the last 20 races has been dominated by the 4, 78, and 18. Sure, we have 6 winners so far, but subtract the plate races and the only surprise winner was Clint Boyer at Martinsville. And guess who finished in second? Kyle Busch. Luckily, we have the AAA 400 at Dover, Kansas the week after, and the Charlotte 600 to see some parity in terms of the racing. We can only hope that Chevrolet pulls a win out of nowhere, or maybe another young driver can win. We can only hope they turn it around.
Right there, two teammates, but Almirola's had a